gentlemen, welcome back to math. Let's do a little recap of what we did last class, okay? Last class, we started solving for linear equations, how to graph them, how to do elevator, walk, to make a line. Today, we're kind of doing the same thing. The only difference today is we're giving a few, I wouldn't say coordinates because they don't give you the whole coordinate, but they give you the x-axis of where points hit. You have to find the y-axis, okay? So it's sort of like we did last class. Instead of doing elevator, walk, this time it's going to be more precise where the points hit on that graph, okay? So let's get started. Our equation for today is y equals 2x plus 2, okay? That means that that's the equation we're dealing with. Remember, a linear equation, and it's also known as slope-intercept form. Usually, all we have to do is turn this into a fraction in order to graph it. Today, we're actually given a few x values. Okay, our values are 0, 1, and 2. Okay, those are our values for this graph. All we have to do is solve for the y where these coordinates hit in order to plot those points. Always on the middle of your chart, always put the equation you're dealing with. Okay, so we have y equals 2x plus 2. We close again our little line, and then we have our y. Okay, I always like to do an extra one where it already has the whole coordinate put together, called the coordinate where we already have our points. Notice that we already have x, so we can plug in x for coordinates. So we have 0, 1, and then 2. Okay? So again, all we want to do is find the coordinates for y in order to graph all 3 points to make our line. Okay? So let's start off by, all we have to do is plug in the numbers for x value. Okay? So we can say that y equals 2. Notice that x is no longer x, it's now 0. So we do parentheses, 0 plus 2. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is just 2, right? So y equals 2. That means that the y on the coordinate is 2. With me so far? Okay, notice, remember, we plugged in 0 for x. So now we have 2 times 0, which is 2 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is just 2. So we plugged it in for our y value, because that's what our y value is. Now we're going to do the next one. We have 1. So again, you're going to use the same equation. Y equals 2. This time, instead of 0, we're going to use 1. 1 plus 2. So again, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 2 is 4. So we have 4. So now we can plug in the 4 also over here on the coordinate. Notice that there's a pattern to it. Remember, all we're doing is plugging in the number on the x to the equation to solve for y, to solve for our coordinates. So again, we do it one more time. This time we have y equals, again, 2, parentheses, the number we're going to put in is 2, right? Because 2 is the one we're dealing with. 2 plus 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, right? 4 plus 2 is 6. So we have 6 as our y. So we put in 6 for here. Notice that now we have 3 coordinates. Okay? We're going to graph those 3 coordinates and make our line. Notice that I'm going to leave the equation up there. I'm going to write all 3 coordinates here. All right, let's do black or purple, yeah. All right, our first coordinate, remember, was 0, 2. Our next coordinate was 1 and 4. And then our final coordinate was 2 and 6. Okay? Make sure you have everything written down before I erase it. If you need more time, pause the video. All right, so I'm assuming everybody has it by now. So I can erase this bottom part. All right, so let's do our little graph here. So we have our graph. I'm going to start my numbers way down here with positive numbers. The reason why I'm not going to make too many negatives is because notice that all of these are positive. So I really don't need too much of a negative side. So let's start off by graphing the first one. Our first point is located at 0, 2. 0 is our x-axis. 2 is our y-axis. So we have 0 on the x. We're not going to move anywhere on the x. We're at 0. We're going to go up 2 and then make our point there. That's 0, 2. Then we're going to go to 1 on the x, 4 on the y. So now we're going to go 1 to the x and then 4 to the y. So about there. And finally, we're going to go 2 and 6. So 2, that's 4, 5, and 6. So 6 and about there. Now we connect the dots. Notice that my line's a little off. It's okay. It's a little crooked because I missed points to try to hit them all. Remember, this is not art class, okay? Notice that this new line is more accurate. So this equation y equals 2x plus 2 is shown by the graph here, more precise, because it tells you where the points are located at, where it hits. And that's how you graph using coordinates. All right, guys, your assignment for today is, I'm going to give you guys 5 points. I'm only going to give you one problem, but it's going to be 5 points, okay? So you have a graph with 5 points. Your equation is y equals (3x minus 2). Okay? Your coordinates are -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So you have -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Remember, you have to plug it into the equation to solve for y. Once you have the coordinate, you can go ahead and graph it, connect the dots, and that's it. Okay? So as soon as you're done watching the video, make sure you submit your work, and I'll be waiting to hear from you.